Welcome to our journey, exploring the essence of focusing on yourself, inspired by the teachings of Buddhism. In our fast-paced lives, it's easy to overlook our own well-being amidst the chaos. But Buddhism teaches us the value of turning inward, nurturing our inner selves, and embarking on a journey of self-discovery. Join us as we delve into the wisdom of Buddha's teachings, learning how to prioritize self-awareness, self-care, and personal growth. Subscribe to our channel and join us on a transformative journey towards inner peace and fulfillment. In Buddhism, one of the teachings that Buddha emphasized is focusing on oneself rather than others. Here's a simple explanation of this principle. Buddha taught that each person is responsible for their own actions, thoughts, and emotions. Instead of worrying about what others are doing or thinking, it's important to focus on our own behavior and mindset. Here are some key points from Buddha's teachings on focusing on oneself. Number 1. Personal responsibility. Buddha taught that each individual is responsible for their own happiness and well-being. Instead of blaming others for our problems or expecting them to change, we should take responsibility for our own actions and choices. In Buddhism, personal responsibility is a fundamental concept that Buddha emphasized to his followers. Buddha taught that every person is responsible for their own happiness and well-being. Rather than blaming others for our difficulties or hoping they'll change, we should recognize that we alone are responsible for our actions and decisions. Here are some key points about personal responsibility from Buddha's teachings. Buddha said that the things we do, good or bad, affect our lives. Instead of blaming others or luck, we should recognize our role in creating our experiences. Buddha taught to accept the results of our actions. Every choice has an effect, and it's important to face them honestly. Learning from mistakes helps us make better decisions in the future. Buddhism highlights our freedom to choose our thoughts, words, and actions. Even when things are tough, we can still make choices that align with our values and goals. Buddha emphasized that everything in life is temporary. Understanding that things change helps us deal with challenges more calmly. We can adapt to life's ups and downs without getting too attached. Taking responsibility means cultivating good qualities like kindness and wisdom. Acts of kindness not only benefit us, but also create positive effects in the world. Buddhism encourages mindfulness, being fully present in each moment. This awareness helps us make thoughtful choices and deal with life's challenges more skillfully. Personal responsibility in Buddhism is about understanding the impact of our actions, accepting the outcomes, making wise choices, adapting to change, cultivating goodness, and staying mindful. It's a way to take control of our lives and find happiness, following Buddha's teachings. According to Buddhism, each individual is the master of their own destiny. Our actions, whether positive or negative, shape our lives and influence our future. Instead of attributing our circumstances to external factors, we must acknowledge our role in creating them. Buddha taught the importance of accepting the consequences of our actions. Every choice we make has repercussions, and it's essential to face them with honesty and integrity. By taking ownership of our actions, we can learn from our mistakes and make wiser decisions in the future. Buddhism emphasizes the freedom of choice that each person possesses. Despite external circumstances or influences, we have the power to choose our thoughts, words, and actions. By exercising mindfulness and self-awareness, we can make choices that align with our values and aspirations. Buddha taught that everything in life is impermanent, including our experiences and emotions. By recognizing the transient nature of existence, we can approach challenges with equanimity and resilience. Rather than seeking permanent solutions to temporary problems, we can adapt and grow through life's inevitable changes. Personal responsibility in Buddhism involves cultivating virtuous qualities such as compassion, kindness, and wisdom. By embodying these qualities in our daily lives, we contribute to our own well-being and the well-being of others. Through acts of generosity and altruism, we create positive karma that leads to greater fulfillment and happiness. Mindfulness is a central practice in Buddhism that enhances personal responsibility. By being fully present in each moment, We can observe our thoughts and emotions without judgment. Personal responsibility is a core principle in Buddhism that emphasizes accountability, acceptance, freedom of choice, impermanence, virtue, and mindfulness. Number 2. Mindfulness of actions. Buddhism emphasizes the practice of mindfulness, which involves being aware of our thoughts, feelings, and actions in the present moment. By focusing on our own behavior, we can cultivate positive qualities like kindness, compassion, and patience. In Buddhism, mindfulness of actions is all about being aware of what we do, think, and feel in the present moment. Here's a simple guide to understand mindfulness of actions in Buddhism. Mindfulness means paying attention to what's happening right now, without judging it as good or bad. It's like being fully present in the moment, aware of our thoughts, feelings, and actions. Mindfulness helps us understand ourselves better. When we're mindful, we notice how our actions affect ourselves and others. It's like shining a light on our behavior so we can see it more clearly. Mindful actions are those done with awareness and intention. For example, when we help someone, we do it with kindness and compassion, not just because we have to or want something in return. Buddhism teaches us to be kind and compassionate towards ourselves and others. When we're mindful of our actions, we can choose to act in ways that bring happiness and peace to ourselves and those around us. Mindfulness also helps us be patient and understanding. Instead of reacting impulsively to situations, we can pause, take a breath, and respond calmly and wisely. Mindfulness of actions also means avoiding actions that harm ourselves or others. For example, we avoid lying, stealing, harming others, and being unkind because we know they cause suffering. Mindfulness isn't just for meditation, it's for everyday life. Whether we're eating, walking, working, or talking to someone, we can practice mindfulness by paying attention to what we're doing and how we're feeling. One key aspect of mindfulness is staying present. Instead of dwelling on the past or worrying about the future, we focus on what's happening right now. This helps us enjoy life more fully and deal with challenges more effectively. We can cultivate mindfulness through meditation, breathing exercises, and daily mindfulness practices. The more we practice, the more natural it becomes to be mindful in everything we do. In Buddhism, mindfulness of actions is a way of living with awareness, kindness, and wisdom. It's about being mindful of our thoughts, words, and deeds, and making choices that lead to happiness and peace, both for ourselves and others. Number 3. Non-attachment. Buddha encouraged his followers to let go of attachment to specific outcomes or expectations. Instead of seeking validation or approval from others, we should focus on doing what is right and virtuous according to our own values and beliefs, things with a free and open heart. Here's a simple guide on non-attachment in Buddhism. Non-attachment means not getting too caught up in what we want to happen. It's about doing our best without expecting things to turn out exactly as we wish. Buddha taught that attachment leads to suffering. When we're too attached to outcomes, we feel disappointed or upset if things don't go our way. Non-attachment is a path to inner peace. Instead of having rigid expectations, we practice letting go. It's like planting seeds without insisting they grow in a particular way. We allow life to unfold naturally. Non-attachment gives us the freedom to act without being overly concerned about success or failure. We do our best, but we're not defined by the results. When we're not overly attached to outcomes, we're less likely to be disappointed. We accept that life is full of uncertainties, and our happiness doesn't solely depend on specific results. Instead of seeking validation or approval from others, non-attachment encourages us to find fulfillment within ourselves. It's about doing what feels right without being overly influenced by external opinions. Practicing non-attachment requires mindfulness. We pay attention to our desires and expectations, gently guiding our minds away from being overly fixated on particular outcomes. Non-attachment doesn't mean avoiding goals, it means being flexible with them. We set goals with an understanding that the journey is as important as the destination. Buddhism teaches us about impermanence, the idea that everything changes. Non-attachment is accepting this truth, understanding that holding on to things too tightly causes unnecessary suffering. Challenges are part of life. With non-attachment, we face challenges with equanimity, maintaining inner balance regardless of the external circumstances. Non-attachment keeps us rooted in the present moment. Instead of dwelling on what might happen in the future, we focus on what we can do now. By practicing non-attachment, we find joy in the process of doing rather than fixating on the outcomes. The journey becomes meaningful in itself. Non-attachment in Buddhism is a practice of living freely, embracing life's uncertainties, and finding contentment within. It's a gentle reminder to act with an open heart, knowing that the beauty of life lies in its unpredictable nature. Number 4, compassion for others. While it's important to focus on oneself, Buddha also taught the importance of compassion for others. By cultivating empathy and understanding towards others, we can build positive relationships and contribute to the well-being of our communities. Here's a simple guide on compassion for others in Buddhism. Compassion is the practice of caring for others and wishing them well. It's about recognizing the shared human experience and extending kindness to all beings. Buddha emphasized compassion as a fundamental virtue. He saw it as a path to reducing suffering, both for ourselves and those around us. Compassion involves putting ourselves in others' shoes, understanding their feelings, and responding with kindness. It's an active expression of empathy. Buddhism teaches us to break free from self-centeredness. Compassion directs our attention outward, fostering a sense of interconnectedness with all living beings. The ultimate goal of compassion is to alleviate suffering. By acknowledging and empathizing with others' pain, we contribute to creating a more compassionate and supportive world. Compassion involves understanding without judgment. It's recognizing that everyone faces challenges, and our responses should be rooted in empathy rather than criticism. Compassion doesn't always require grand gestures. Small acts of kindness, such as offering a listening ear or helping someone in need, can have a profound impact. Forgiving others is a form of compassion. It's releasing the grip of resentment and understanding that, like us, others are imperfect and capable of change. Loving kindness meditation is a practice in Buddhism to cultivate compassion. It involves sending positive intentions and well wishes to oneself and others. Compassion is a foundation for building positive and harmonious relationships. It fosters understanding, cooperation, and a sense of community. Practicing compassion extends beyond personal interactions. It involves contributing to social and environmental well-being, working towards a world where all beings can live with dignity. Compassion is reflected in how we speak. Mindful speech involves avoiding harsh words and instead choosing words that promote understanding and kindness. Buddhism teaches universal compassion, extending care not only to friends and family, but to all beings, including strangers, and even those we may perceive as adversaries. While focusing on others, it's crucial to extend compassion to oneself. Self-compassion involves treating oneself with the same kindness offered to others. The Bodhisattva in Buddhist philosophy embodies compassion. The Bodhisattva dedicates themselves to the well-being and enlightenment of all beings. In Buddhism, compassion is not just a virtue. It's a transformative force that has the potential to create a more compassionate and interconnected world. By practicing compassion for others, we contribute to the collective well-being and create a ripple effect of positivity. We are so excited to bring you this video. Your support truly motivates us to keep going. Hit that like button if you're enjoying it so far. Number 5. Avoiding comparison. Buddha cautioned against comparing ourselves to others, as this can lead to feelings of jealousy, inadequacy, or superiority. Instead of measuring our worth based on external factors or other people's achievements, we should focus on our own personal growth and development. Buddhism offers valuable insights into letting go of comparison and embracing the richness of our own lives. Comparison is when we measure ourselves against others in terms of abilities, possessions, or achievements. It often leads to negative feelings such as jealousy, inadequacy, or superiority. Buddha taught that comparison is a source of suffering. When we compare ourselves to others, we create unnecessary stress and dissatisfaction in our lives. Comparing ourselves to others can lead to negative emotions such as jealousy, envy, and resentment. It can also damage our self-esteem and hinder our personal growth. Buddhism encourages us to focus on our own personal growth and development instead of comparing ourselves to others. Each person's journey is unique, and we all have our own strengths and weaknesses. Instead of comparing ourselves to others, we should appreciate the differences that make each individual unique. Embracing diversity allows us to learn from others and grow in our own way. Comparison often stems from the ego, the part of us that seeks validation and recognition from others. Buddhism teaches us to let go of the ego and cultivate humility and inner peace. Gratitude is an antidote to comparison. Instead of focusing on what we lack compared to others, we should cultivate gratitude for what we have in our lives. This shift in perspective can bring about a sense of abundance and contentment. Instead of feeling jealous or envious of others' achievements, we should celebrate their success and accomplishments. Cultivating a mindset of abundance and goodwill towards others creates positive energy and fosters healthy relationships. True contentment comes from within, not from external comparisons or validations. Buddhism teaches us to find peace and happiness by cultivating inner qualities such as compassion, wisdom, and equanimity. In today's world of social media and constant connectivity, it's easy to fall into the trap of comparing ourselves to others. Buddhism reminds us to detach from social comparisons and focus on our own inner journey. No one is perfect, and everyone faces challenges and struggles in life. Instead of striving for perfection or comparing ourselves to unrealistic standards, we should embrace our imperfections and celebrate our uniqueness. Self-compassion is essential for overcoming comparison. Instead of being hard on ourselves for not measuring up to others, we should treat ourselves with kindness, understanding, and acceptance. By following these principles, we can free ourselves from the cycle of comparison and find greater peace, contentment, and fulfillment in our lives. Number 6. Inner peace and contentment. The goal of focusing on oneself in Buddhism is to cultivate inner peace and contentment. By letting go of the need for external validation and turning inward for guidance, we can find true happiness and fulfillment in our lives. Here's a simple guide on inner peace and contentment in Buddhism. Inner peace is a state of calmness and tranquility that arises from within. It's not dependent on external circumstances, but rather on our internal state of mind. Buddha taught that true happiness and contentment come from within, not from external sources such as wealth, status, or possessions. He emphasized the importance of cultivating inner peace through practices like meditation, mindfulness, and self-awareness. Attachment to external things, such as material possessions or relationships, can disturb our inner peace. Buddhism teaches the importance of letting go of attachments and desires that lead to suffering and discontentment. Buddhism recognizes the impermanent nature of life. Everything is constantly changing, including our thoughts, emotions, and experiences. By accepting impermanence, we can let go of attachments and find peace in the present moment. One of the core teachings of Buddhism is mindfulness, which involves being fully present in the moment without judgment or attachment to the past or future. By focusing on the present moment, we can experience inner peace and contentment. Gratitude is a powerful practice that can cultivate inner peace and contentment. Buddhism encourages us to appreciate the simple joys and blessings in our lives, regardless of our circumstances. By focusing on what we have rather than what we lack, we can experience profound gratitude and fulfillment. Compassion towards ourselves and others is essential for cultivating inner peace. Buddhism teaches that by extending kindness and compassion to ourselves and others, we can experience deep peace and fulfillment. Judgments and criticisms create inner turmoil and conflict. Buddhism encourages us to let go of judgments and cultivate acceptance and understanding towards ourselves and others. By embracing imperfections and embracing our humanity, we can find peace within ourselves. Meditation is a powerful tool for finding inner peace and contentment. By quieting the mind and observing our thoughts without attachment or judgment, we can experience deep inner stillness and tranquility. Simple living can contribute to inner peace and contentment. Buddhism teaches that material possessions and external distractions can create unrest. By simplifying our lives and focusing on what truly matters, we can experience greater peace and clarity. Buddhism teaches that accepting ourselves and others as they are, without trying to change or fix them, allows us to experience deep peace and contentment. Connecting with nature can bring about a sense of inner peace and harmony. Buddhism encourages us to appreciate the beauty and interconnectedness of all living beings, and to live in harmony with the natural world. By including these principles into our lives, we can cultivate a profound sense of inner peace and contentment that transcends external circumstances. Focusing on oneself is a central teaching in Buddhism that emphasizes personal responsibility, mindfulness, non-attachment, compassion, and inner peace. If you found this video helpful, subscribe for more contents, and like and share with your friends. Peace be with you, and stay positive.